This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, the skyline of Los Angeles isn't the only thing in freefall. Spencer Publications, one of the most powerful empires in the city, is on the verge of imploding. A helicopter crash, a forged identity, a battle of ex-lovers, and a race against psychological manipulation converge into a high-stakes war for control, loyalty, and survival. And at the center of it all stands Bill Spencer, with a mind fractured by trauma and 15 years of memory gone. It begins with the crash. Bill Spencer, titan of industry and master of aggression, boards his private helicopter on what should have been a routine flight to finalize a lucrative merger. Minutes after takeoff, the aircraft spirals out of control. The pilot makes a desperate emergency landing on the edge of the Angeles National Forest. When the wreckage is discovered, Bill is alive, but concussed, disoriented, and locked in a mental time capsule. When he wakes up, he doesn't recognize Brooke. He doesn't recognize Wyatt. He doesn't even know what Spencer Publications has become. What he does remember vividly is being madly in love with Katie Logan, his wife 15 years ago. Doctors confirm retrograde amnesia, 15 years of memory gone, sealed off by blunt force trauma. Names, faces, alliances, betrayals all gone. In Bill's mind, he's a man still married to Katie, running a growing publishing house, and estranged from Ridge Forrester in a classic fashion rivalry. But what Bill doesn't know is that the world around him has changed wildly. Brooke is devastated. Her connection to Bill, complex, stormy, sensual, is now erased. Her every word to him lands like an awkward introduction. Liam, ever the opportunist when the balance of power shifts, sees a vacuum opening in the Spencer dynasty. With his father disoriented and the company's leadership in flux, Liam quickly positions himself as acting CEO, citing family stability. Brooke backs him. It's a move wrapped in concern but powered by hunger. Both know that if Bill doesn't regain his memory soon, Spencer Publications could fall into the wrong hands or be ripped apart by internal wars. But someone else has already infiltrated from the shadows. Sheila Carter, still lurking in the crevices of LA's underworld, still obsessed with control, sees an opportunity. With Bill vulnerable and the company exposed, she reappears under a new alias, Dr. Margot Harlan, renowned memory recovery specialist. Posing as a consultant hired by the hospital, Sheila gains access to Bill's sessions. And under the guise of helping him recover, she begins a far more insidious task, implanting false memories. Memories where she is his savior, where they are lovers, where he trusts only her. Within days, Bill starts asking for Dr. Harlan more than his family. He stops questioning inconsistencies in his timeline. When Sheila plants a false memory of Ridge orchestrating the helicopter crash, Bill's resentment festers. When she whispers that Brooke and Liam are plotting to dismantle Spencer Publications behind his back, he grows paranoid. Sheila's plan is devastating in its precision. By making Bill believe he's alone, betrayed, and desperate, she becomes the only voice he trusts. And once he signs over temporary financial control to her, just to help manage things, she'll have exactly what she wants, a mobile bank account disguised as a CEO. But not everyone is fooled. Katie, initially stunned by Bill's regression, tries to reach him. She plays along with the timeline he believes, recalling old memories, wearing clothes he once loved, calling him Will's daddy the way she used to. For brief moments, flickers of recognition surface. But they vanish just as quickly, erased by Sheila's careful conditioning. When Katie discovers Dr. Harlan's true identity through a contact at the hospital, she nearly faints. Her blood runs cold. She goes straight to Ridge Forrester, her former enemy, her ex's nemesis, the last person she would ever call for help. But this isn't about personal history. It's about saving Bill. Katie and Ridge form an uneasy alliance. She brings emotional memory cues, old family videos, childhood photos, letters. Ridge brings strategic pressure. Together, they construct a campaign to chip away at Sheila's manipulation. But Sheila sees the game shifting. She accelerates her plan. Within a week, Bill's behavior deteriorates. He becomes erratic, suspicious. He fires 2 longtime executives under suspicion of sabotage. He starts liquidating assets, just in case. And worst of all, he signs over Spencer's capital reserves to a proxy account that only Dr. Harlan controls. Katie and Ridge act fast. They stage a memory ambush. They bring Will to the hospital, the son Bill can't quite remember. Katie walks him through the day Will was born down to the rainstorm outside the hospital window. She plays the video of Bill holding him for the first time. Will, now a teenager, says one line, "You told me I was your future. Are you going to forget your future, Dad?" Something cracks. Bill's hands tremble. His eyes dart. Images flash: Will's first birthday, his college visits, the time he broke his arm skateboarding. Katie sees it. Ridge sees it. But Sheila does too. And she panics. That night, she sneaks into Bill's room and tells him Ridge has been poisoning his mind. That Katie is working with Liam and Brooke to erase the real truth. She begs him to come with her, to start over. She nearly has him convinced, until she slips. She refers to a private moment that hadn't happened yet, something Bill never lived through. A fabricated memory. One too many. Bill freezes. "I never said that," he says. Sheila tries to recover. "Yes, you did. You told me in." "No," he says, stronger now. "That's not my memory. That's yours." His hand reaches for the call button. Sheila lunges. But Ridge steps into the room with a hospital guard at his side. Katie stands behind them, holding Will's hand. The scene erupts. Sheila is tackled and arrested. Her web of lies undone. Bill collapses. Not physically, but mentally. Years of memory flood back. Like a dam bursting. He remembers everything. Brooke, Katie, Liam, the rise of Spencer Publications, the betrayals, the forgiveness, the deals, the battles. When he wakes the next morning, Katie is there. He takes her hand. "Did I sign over my company to Sheila Carter?" She nods. "Then let's go take it back." Within 48 hours, Bill revokes every power of attorney. He calls an emergency board meeting. He reinstates the fired executives. He removes Liam and Brooke from interim roles. The empire begins to steady. But something in Bill is different. He's quieter, humbled, haunted by how easily he was manipulated. He thanks Ridge for once. He holds Katie a little longer than usual. And he walks into Spencer Publications not with his usual swagger, but with something rarer. Clarity. But if anyone in Los Angeles thinks peace will last, they don't know the bold and the beautiful, because empires don't forget. Neither do enemies. And as Sheila Carter is led into custody, she smiles. Because this war is far from over. Sheila Carter is behind bars. Again. But this time, something feels different. The guards escort her through the county facility like she's just another case number. The media is still buzzing, but no one is shocked anymore. Sheila being exposed, arrested, unmasked, it's happened so many times it barely disrupts the nightly news. But Sheila doesn't care. Because this time, she planted a seed. And it's already growing. At Spencer Publications, Bill is back at the helm. The suits fall in line. The chaos is contained. Shareholders are reassured. But the boardroom tension is thicker than ever. Liam keeps his distance. Brooke plays the role of supportive friend, but she's clearly rattled. Ridge, while acting gracious in victory, reminds everyone that he had warned them about Sheila, again. Bill gives his first public address since the accident. He doesn't mention the false memories. He doesn't explain how close the company came to collapse. He simply says, "Spencer stands. And as long as I'm breathing, it always will." but that confidence masks something he can't shake. Sheila's words, her lies, somehow tapped into real vulnerabilities. Her attack may have failed, but it exposed his greatest weakness: isolation. He trusts no one fully now. Not even Katie. Especially not Liam. Because what Bill doesn't know yet is that while he was recovering, Liam made moves. Quietly. Legally. Behind the scenes. He opened a shell company using Spencer Capital, disguised as a spin-off media venture. The paperwork was vague, buried in a pile of emergency filings while Bill was incapacitated. Liam claimed it was to stabilize the brand. Now, it's growing teeth. Katie discovers it first. She's reviewing financial discrepancies and follows the trail to a dummy account tied to an LLC registered in Liam's name. She confronts him. He doesn't deny it. I did what I had to do, he says. You weren't in control. Brooke wasn't. Dad sure as hell wasn't. Katie tells Bill. And Bill, newly restored, erupts. Liam returns to the office the next morning to find his access revoked. His office cleared. Security waiting. The board is split, some loyal to Bill, others to the son they've watched grow into a leader. What started as a secret pivot has turned into an all-out civil war inside Spencer Publications. Ridge watches from the sidelines, amused. Katie is furious. We just saved you. And now you're going to tear each other apart again. But it's too late. The war is already public. Tabloids headline it as Father versus Son, Spencer Implosion. Sheila, reading it from her cell, smiles. Because before she was caught, she left something behind, a flash drive. Hidden, encrypted. It contains falsified documents, audio clips of forged conversations, bank statements doctored to look like betrayal. And now it's in the hands of her last remaining ally, Poppy Nozawa. Poppy, desperate to reclaim relevance in a world where her daughter Luna is still reeling from scandal and trauma, sees the flash drive as a weapon. She doesn't fully understand what it contains. But she knows exactly where to use it. Spencer's board. Within days, anonymous tips begin to leak. Audio files land in media inboxes. Conversations that seem to show Bill paying off hospital officials. Files that suggest Katie knew about Sheila's involvement earlier than she claimed. Everything is twisted. Nothing is confirmed. But the damage is done. Public trust in Spencer tanks again. Advertisers pull. Contracts stall. Analysts downgrade. Bill loses it. Not emotionally. Strategically. He calls Brooke, of all people. He tells her to go to Ridge. Not to plead, not to explain, but to negotiate. We need Forrester. We need stability. You're going to broker a truce. Brooke agrees. But not before she makes a personal stop to see Katie. She confronts her sister. Demands to know what Katie's endgame is. You're back with Bill, fine. But don't stand by him if it means taking this company down just to prove a point. Katie fires back. I'm not the one feeding lies to the board. Maybe ask your daughter where her loyalty is. Because yes, Hope Logan, still holding shares at Spencer, is watching the entire storm from her office across town. She hasn't taken a side. Not yet. But both Bill and Liam know, when she does, it'll tip the balance. Hope calls a meeting. Private. Off-site. No press. Just her, Liam, Bill, and Katie. She doesn't raise her voice. She raises the stakes. You both claim to love this company, but all I see are egos and vendettas. So I'm giving you 72 hours. If you don't come back with one united plan, one leadership structure, I'll vote to liquidate. Bill stares at her. Liam laughs. You wouldn't. Hope, try me. Katie is the only one who sees it. Hope isn't bluffing. Because somewhere deep down, Hope Logan is still grieving the life she almost had with Liam, the love she nearly rekindled, the betrayal that cost her Carter. And if this company, this last piece of Spencer legacy, becomes another battlefield, she's ready to walk away and burn it all down. 3 days. That's all they have. And far away, In her cell, Sheila Carter waits. Because even behind bars, she knows the truth. The Forrester Logan Spencer empire doesn't need bombs or bullets to fall. It just needs one more lie. And she's already written it.